Hey, today we're going to go over Torcoin and Tourister, two different branches of the same project. Tourister is a platform that's going to be a website for travel, should rival and compete with like Expedia, Travelocity, Kayak, but it's going to be run on the blockchain. So if you've ever seen any decentralized browser, they look a little weird because they're so clean. They usually run a little quicker too, um, because they're not clogged up with ads. They're not full and busy looking with all the different ads and pop-ups. Um, they're just very, very clean. If you ever use the Brave browser or watch a YouTube or Steam video link with YouTube, all those all those ads are gone. The second part is the Torcoin, which is kind of what everything's going to run on. It's their cryptocurrency. It is an ERC20 token that is done on a pre-mine, and the total supply is going to be 100 million, which is not that much, but only about 13.5 million will be the original circulating supply. We'll go over that. The rest will be locked away and will be distributed over the next 20 years through a loyalty program. Um, Kind of cool how they're setting that up too. Um, they have a really good white paper, which is long. I don't know if they have a one pager, but they do have a light paper, which is pretty cool. Light paper is kind of the Goldilocks of technical information. It's more than a one pager, but much easier to read than a whole white paper. Um, let's see. First, we'll go over it's the ERC20 token. Um, what the token's trying to do, and this is where I think that the Tor coin itself and the whole project, I don't think they meant to do this even, but I think they're going to kind of stumble on to one of the biggest uses of mass adoption in the world. The Tor coin, what they're trying to do is to be used as a travel currency. So, I mean, eventually you're going to pay for your trips, hotels, all that will accept the Tor coin as the main form of payment. And that is going to cut out a lot of what they're trying to do is to cut out a lot of the fees and headaches that are associated with the financial aspects of travel. Um, and they are little headaches, but they do add up. And when you're talking about your vacation, you really don't want any headaches at all. Um, Things like credit card fees. If you make a payment from one country to another, you're looking at cross-chain or cross-country fees, credit card fees. You can have bank fees. You can have foreign exchange fees for having to convert to a different uh, form of currency. Anytime you're working with fiat and banks, everyone's going to try to get a piece of your dollar, um, or drachma or whatever. So this would umbrella everything into one coin that could be, you know, cross borders, no fees, no exchanges, just, you know, everything's under one price and pays for it. I'm sure you'd have to get some, local currency for souvenirs and stuff like that. But a lot of the headaches that you'd have, and also a lot of things like when you make a payment or or something like that for something in another country, you have to wait for that to go through. It has to be, confirmed. So you may need to get something paid for your trip like within an hour or within a day. And as you've heard with Ripple and everything else, it's a lot faster if you want to get money from one country to another to physically get on a plane and fly to that country with the money than it is to send it. This would alleviate that. Uh, and the reason for that time frame is because there's no reason to trust anyone. Especially, I think it's something like credit card purchases or coming out of Africa. It's like 70% or 30% are fraudulent, or 70% is fraudulent. Either way, it's a terrible number. But because of that, you can't trust anything until everything's confirmed. So you need a trustless way of doing things, which would be a trustless smart contract, which is one of the reasons why this is going to be so revolutionary, and I think will be adopted quickly, um, because it's going to solve a lot of those problems. Um, and by doing that, the mass adoption will really take over. Now I'm older, so I can remember going on trips with my family, and us getting traveler's checks. It was the same kind of basic concept, but it was a check. You had to, we go down to the bank. My mom would buy, you know, these traveler's checks, like a bunch of $50 or $100 checks that are pre-filled out, pre-done. I think they were from American Express or wherever. But then when we go to the other country, they would accept the traveler's check. We'd pay with this $100 check, and they'd give us the change, or we'd cash it at a bank or whatever. But we had to pay for the checks. You had to pay fees to cash it usually. You had to pay at a bank, for them to cash it in the conversion. It's still, your money didn't go as far. But that's just what you did if you went on any kind of international travel. So you didn't have to take cash, because if they were stolen or if they were lost, they would be replaced. So they were more secure, even though they were a physical thing. Um, Now, the staking method I was talking about, uh, they're not distributing too much of this coin. Only said about 13 million. The other 80 some percent is going to be locked away, and they're going to distribute that over the next 20 years. They're going to do that in the form of loyalty that's going to go out to all holders of the token. They're going to take a weekly snapshot of the ERC20 wallets and then distribute every week. It's going to be kind of like gas for Neo, or uh, uh, like a dividend. You can look at it as, or there's another way you can look at it. I'll go over that. Um, they're not conducting an ICO. I'll go over that. Um, this goes over a little bit of the size of travel and what they're basically trying to do, which I went over what their main goal is. Travel, it is $7.6 trillion a year, which is that's trillion, 700 or 7,000 millions a year of US dollars, or 10% of the global GDP. That's 10% of the global GDP. That's oil, that's medicine, healthcare, food production. It's 10% of that global gross domestic product. Um, so the fact that much is spent on travel is pretty mind blowing. And that is the industry they're trying to take over. Uh, I'm going to click on this just for a second, just to show you something. This is a website of where you can get some of the statistics. But if you look at a third of this page is this ad for the site. It's just, even though there's just one ad, it's so cluttered looking. Um, and that's when you have a decentralized web, it's not like that. That ad wouldn't be there. It would just be clean, like this, like this white paper. This basically talks about there's three different things: location, duration, and budgeting that they're trying to fix with Tourister. Um, and it does go into a little bit of how I've noticed. Like I said, I'm an older guy. I remember, when I was a little kid going down to the AAA. office, with my mom, and we'd plan out a vacation, talk to a travel agent, look at travel books, and then once we picked what we wanted to do, then they would tell us about all the places we could visit and things we could see there. Then they could make up an itinerary, and then they gave us a price. Um, it was a lot more expensive because there was someone that did it. They had all the information in one place. Now with the advent of Travelocity and Expedia, and Priceline and all that, travel is a lot easier and it is a lot cheaper, but it's very, very cookie cutter and generic. Um, every, I mean, I bought trips. I bought a trip for my nephew last year for his birthday to Vegas, and there's not a lot of things you can pick. I mean, you go on a website, you put in when you're leaving, where you're leaving from, when you want to come back, and that's it. And then it tells you this is what you can pick from. I mean, and then it says it basically gives you a plane ride there and a place to sleep. That's it. I mean, there's some sites where you can add on a couple things, but they're not many. And then if you want to look into for a real vacation, you've got to go to travel forums. You've got to research. You've got to, talk to people. You've got to talk to strangers. And if you find out about really cool things that you didn't know about, someone tells you about some great restaurant or some dinner theater place or wherever. Oh, you got to try this one, hole in the wall place. You're gonna have to find out where that is. Look that up. You'll have to call that place or contact it. There might be a language barrier. Basically, a lot of work, a lot of time, or else you're just going to have a cookie cutter experience. You'll get off the plane, you'll have a place to stay, but you won't know what to do. What do we do? Um, One of the cool things that they're doing is they're going to have a like a travel appendix, um, where you pick where you want to go, and then you can go there and look at all the different places to see, all the different things that you can do to add to your itinerary for your vacation. Um, I'll get into the tokenomics in a minute, but just to touch on it because this is important for that. One of the first things that they're going to do is open that up to the community to add stuff to. So whenever you do go on a trip, or if you want to add something in about a place you went to, like say in New York or Dallas or wherever, you would put that in there. It's kind of like Yelp or what you'd put your review in there and what about it. But the thing is, you'll be rewarded for that with the Torcoin. So your experience and your information has monetization and value that you get back from it. Also, um, people that use the site can tip other touristers with the Torcoin for their reviews and for their information. So it's kind of cool, kind of builds a community, and it also builds the supply uh, of the token with putting it out there and having people exchange it. Um, so that's a couple of things that it's going to work on. Um, Token supply, I'll go into that. It's 100 million, like I said. 13 million pre-mined to fund the development of the Torcoin Tourister and Bounty and Rewards. 4.5 million are held by the team and advisors. These tokens will be mined over a period of 12 months. 12 months, and then 4.5 million, not a ton of coins if there was a half a billion or billion or 10 billion like some tokens. There's only 100 million. So that's not a lot. That means that the price will be easily changed by something that's 4.5%. So if these guys go dump all their stuff as soon as it goes on exchanges, it would destroy the price. However, when you look down here, the 4.5% of the total supply will be reserved for the Torcoin team and advisors, with a 6-month cliff and a vesting period over 12 months. 25% of these tokens will mint after the expiry of the 6 months. Cliff period and subsequent each month through the implementation of smart contracts. So they're locked away with a smart contract, so they can't get to it. They can't do that, which is one of the things that you could worry about because there's no ICO, but because that's how they would be able to get their money. But they are locked away with a smart contract. So out of that, 40% for the bounty program, 30% for development, 22.5% for marketing, and 7.5% for operations and expenses. Now the 100 million coins ends up being about 82 million that are going to be left after the initial pre-mine for the advisors and for the startup. Out of that, that's going to be paid out over the next 20 years in this loyalty program, which they have laid out here, and it's pretty neat. There's two ways you can look at this. One, it's like a dividend, it's like gas, it's money that you get each year. First year, it's almost 30% for what you hold on to. Big reason to hold on the first year and not sell right away. Or you can look at it as, I have a savings account that I've had for a while that I would use just for a vacation, just for family vacations. Now, let's say you go on one family vacation a year, say $5,000. $5,000. If you didn't put that in the savings account, you actually bought the coin. Number one, it's going to go up exponentially with the coin, most likely. It's not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, of course, but you have the coin, so if the coin goes up in value, your money goes up. But let's keep it simple. Say one is $1. You got 5,000, $5,000, 5,000 Tor coins. You're going to get 29 or 27.9%, close to 30%, like 1,500 for the year. So if you have that $5,000 vacation, you still have 1,500 left over. So year two, you now have $6,500 for the next vacation. Now you're going to get 19%, 18.5% on that 6,500. Now you have about 2,500. So on the third year, before you put any money into your travel fund, you've got half a vacation already built up. So basically, after 4 years, you're going to have a free vacation just on the staking, just on the rewards, on what they're going to give you. That's the way I'm looking at it. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, it's cool that you're going to get the extra money and the payout, but I'm looking at it more of a long term, like using it for a free vacation. This just goes into a little bit more of the basics on it, which everything I looked at, it really just legitimizes the team and what they're wanting to do. There's not many things that are focused on them getting money quickly or them just getting money, period. But definitely not getting money quickly. Everything is really, it looks like it's really focused on the goal of what they're trying to do. And this just talks a little bit about the pre-mine. The mechanism is alternate merge mining instead of incentivizing miners by giving them Torcoin over and above the Ethereum they mine, which will be rewarding our loyal user base directly with additional tokens in proportion to their holding size and duration. This eliminates our reliance on miners who may not be fully invested in the idea of Torcoin. I mine in a pool, and nobody cares about anything. Literally, the mining pool changes hourly on whatever is most profitable. If Allura coin is more profitable than Verge coin, then it switches the mining hash to Allura coin. That's it. When it comes to most miners, originally I know it was set up to where, it's supposed to be securing that network. It's not really liked anymore. And they're taking that out of the equation. they're rewarding holders directly, people that are committed to having the program succeed. Um, that also fosters a loyal user base committed to holding and using Torcoin for actual use cases in the Torster platform, and who, like us, are excited about the potential of the token. And the disbursement of the token will be done taking a weekly screenshot of compatible Ethereum wallets, and users holding onto the Torcoin at the time of the snapshot will be rewarded with the additional Torcoin. So weekly, which is pretty cool, you can actually see it grow. Um, this is the team, which would have been kind of the only negative that I would have had with it, but I can't call it a negative because it's not an ICO. First off, their community is really, really helpful and very friendly. Um, Before I did this, I was in the Telegram quite a few times asking questions. Everyone's very helpful, especially the admin answered every question. Really, really nice guy. I did not realize it was the strategy lead that I was talking to, but this guy Omar, he is very, very friendly. They're very, very transparent and everything. Just like everything on the white paper, just like everything on the site, everything's very transparent. Um, the thing is, there's not a lot of specifics on each one of these people. They have two main devs, um, which I mean, it says they have a lot of experience, but it doesn't have specifics on their experience of what they did. I mean, in fact, this guy here, he's a blockchain and cryptocurrency investor and enthusiast with a depth of experience in financial technology and business development and marketing. He's traveled extensively over 4 continents and a strong desire in spreading the experience and making it easier for others to do the same. It is his passion and wealth of experience to make him a valued member of the team. If you took my picture and put it here and changed 4 continents to 3, that would be me. You could put me right there. It's just not super specific. Um, this person, though, they do have, I mean, they work with Fortune 100. It's all, but then right here, um, he was involved with the Rupee blockchain project, which he helped grow from infancy to a multi-million-dollar market cap coin. So the last person, they have something that's like a really big deal that's specific, and they put it in the last spot. Um, Now that would be a negative and would be a big deal if it was an ICO. When it comes to ICOs, which is a point that they make, um, there's nothing there. It's basically someone saying, we have an idea. I got an idea. I want to do this. Here's a white paper of what I want to do. Here's a roadmap of when I'm going to do it. Now, give me a bunch of money. And then they get $500 million, $200 million, a billion, 2 billion, however much Telegram got, 3, 4 billion. And there's nothing there. So the only thing you have to invest in is to trust on is the team. That's why you want to look at their LinkedIn. You want to look at their credentials. You want to know exactly what they've done. Because if there is no working project or if there is nothing, then that's very, very important. However, they're not doing an ICO. They're not trying to get your money. They're just trying to get this project launched and off the ground and working. So there's the roadmap. Once again, going over this, I read this. When I first read it, I thought that at launch, 13.5 million tokens will be distributed and allocated towards bounty programs, marketing, development, blah, blah, blah. So I was figuring the valuation would be off the 100 million. But the valuation is going to be off the circulating supply, and that says 13.5 million tokens minted. So that's going to be all that's out there. So the circulating supply will be like 14 million for a while. And then the rest will come out over 20 years. Um, Now the supply is going to be given out and in advertising. They're also going to do down here a big like giveaway in Q3. Um, that's going to create the supply and then the demand when it starts to be used. There isn't anything on here about exchanges. I asked them specifically. They answered me right away that they're going to, after the token distribution in June, they're going to start looking at exchanges right away. So probably mid-June to July this summer, most likely to be on exchanges. This is a really huge, like I said, the Tourister platform and all is very, very cool. It's going to compete, in a huge industry, but it's kind of it's I think perfecting or making something better like Travelocity or like that. Um, but the Tor coin, and honestly, I think they may have just really stumbled on this. Like I said, I think that this is the gateway to mass adoption. Even if it's just, we just use cryptocurrencies for traveling. Oh, when I go, it's much easier to use the Tor coin, whatever. But I think this is where it's going to really, really get out there. Um, because that's what they're going for. And I don't think that they were trying to be like the gateway to mass adoption, you know, to change and get, cryptocurrency out there to everyone. But this could very well do it. They have a pretty aggressive roadmap. Basically, it's laid out for within 2 years. Within a year, or less than a year, within like 6 months, they're going to have a working beta with mainly focused on Europe. Uh, May, we're at hiring key staff and they're starting an aggressive marketing campaign. June, they're doing the token distribution and platform development. Q3, basically just they're starting for European destinations and they're more marketing with the giveaway contest. Q4, they're going to launch their beta with itinerary available for top European destinations, integrate with Google Places API, and do platform testing. And then Q9 or Q1 of 19, they're going to create the Tourister Travel Forum. Uh, you're going to be able to tip other holders and integrate attraction timings and tags and Tourister itinerary review system, which is what I was talking about. Um, Giving your review and getting, monetizing it. Then Q2, expand itineraries to other destinations, worldwide destinations. Integrate those destinations with Google Maps. Basically, just going from Europe to everywhere. And that's Q2. So that's like within a year, right? 18, yeah. So within a year, within 6 months, they'll be up and running in beta for all of Europe or for Europe, and within a year for worldwide. Um, Q3, create travel marketplace for the platform and use case 2. Q4, end of 2019, enable your users to customize and collaborate on itineraries. That's the big deal I was talking about, getting back to a really personal travel agent big deal experience, not the cookie cutter vacation, which is one of the things that they're trying to do, and introduce city travel guides on Tourister. And then beginning of 20, full mobile app, multi-language support for the Tourister platform. So basically, by beginning of 20, they're set. They got their app going. They have support in different countries, different languages. Q2, create travel bookings portal for Tourister platform, and Torcoin use case 3, which is the use case 3 is where you're able to pay for hotel, and it's basically mass merchant acceptance of the Tor coin, which that's when it goes. In my mind, that's when it goes to mass adoption. When you could say, hey, I got $1,000. I wanted to go visit. You know, I wanted to go to France. I want to go to Spain, and you take your $1,000, you buy the Tor coin. Now that's what you pay for everything on. You're not sitting there with your calculator and I gotta, invest this to lira if I go here. I need to convert it to this if I go there. That's it. You've got your wallet with your Tor coin. You pay for your hotel. You pay for your trip. Any excursions you want to do. It's all right there. That's the use case 3. And that is pretty much it for Torcoin. Which you can go through the facts. We went over pretty much everything, and like I said, the one thing is, and I was wondering about why they didn't do an ICO, because it is a simple way to get money. But like I think they made the point. Yeah, they do make the point here that a lot of ICOs happen. They make a ton of money, and then they goof off. There's I mean, they have a huge startup, they have a huge war test, everyone's getting paid, they got lots of money. So there's no rush to get things taken care of. And some projects can use the excuse, oh, we're focused on the project. We're not focused on, getting value up or making money. But you know what? They already made their money. So they don't need to focus on getting things done, which is the truth. And they put down here why they opt for a pre-mine, not for an ICO. This was a matter of great debate amongst the funding team, and eventually we decided not to opt for an ICO. While we recognize that ICOs are a powerful funding method, their legal framework remains largely undefined, and they're also beginning to sow distrust in the blockchain industry. With a pre-mine, we have more skin in the game to make sure our platform develops and grows. There's no slacking off after a big payday, as we sometimes see post-ICO. We also get paid in our coins, so these coins are worthless unless we add utility to the Tor coin and Torster, which is in our interest. This hit me like a punch in the face from Tyson. It is just so powerful and laid out there. Like everything else that I've read on this and looked at and researched, it's really geared towards the project and getting things accomplished rather than making money or getting a quick buck. I think this gives a ton of credibility, and it's very admirable in what they're doing. Very rarely would you see in an ICO anything or any project where it's just about them. And it's just this one statement that ICOs are beginning to sow distrust in the blockchain industry, and that had bearing on whether or not they did one to fund it and to to make money. I think that's a really powerful statement about the team and about the project. So I was really impressed by it. Like I said, they do have a really good. They have a Twitter. I think they have a Facebook. They have a really good Telegram group. You can contact them directly. No Facebook that I can see. They do have a Reddit, Medium, and like I said, the Telegram group's really, really good. I'll leave a link in the description to the site. It's got everything you need there.